Hello? Oh no! Where's my what? Where are my VTubers and why are they not on screen? What the heck? Hold on. You have to choose apparently. Welcome! Where is my BGM? Excuse me? I chose a very specific set today. Oh, is that loud? It's a little loud for me. 1 second. So, real quick, I would like to shout out the assets I'm using today. I have chosen the BGM that this person has recently released, and I just felt like it really matches Migo. So, Migo is currently I'm deafened. We will not hear Migo right now. But he's just on screen because he's cute like that. Look at that. Look at his model. It's so cool. Welcome to the first traveler in today, Dexter. Thank you guys for coming by episode 23 of SmolTalk. If you guys don't know what SmolTalk is a VTuber interview podcast where I get to know about a creator outside of their content. Those burning questions we have within ourselves, but we can never ask. But now I can. Obviously, we will not touch any topic that Migo does not want encroached upon, and we're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna have a break an hour in, and after that, we'll have questions that you, the chat, can ask by redeeming in the chat redemption store. Also, along with that, I've added some new redemptions. I played around with Mix It Up a little, and we'll see what fun stuff might be able to come out there. Because yeah. Okay, thanks, Migo. Yes, that is totally a question for Migo. I can't wait to ask Migo this question that Migo asked. Wow, fantastic. Oh, that did not loop. Why didn't you loop the BGM? Oh, sadness. Oh, it did loop. You guys were hearing multiple BGM. Oh, forgive me. Okay. Let me welcome on in, everyone. Please understand as well, due to the nature of this stream, that I will not be able to interact with chat as much as normal. In fact, we might not interact with chat at all. Our priority is with Migo today, alright? And please make sure to ask serious and genuine questions. They can be silly if you'd like, but I wanna, our goal is to know more Migo, more about our amigo. Okay, I need to figure out one more thing, and then we're gonna get Migo in here to introduce himself. So make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Oh gosh, don't look at that. I am totally listening to the same music that you guys are. Okay. Beep boop. Hello.
Is that your soundboard, by the way, that does that?
What?
The connect sound, or is that you doing it?
Connect sound? Oh,
no, do you not have a soundboard?
No.
Or am I imagining things?
I'm pretty sure that's just Discord. That's just Discord's sound when you unmute, I suppose.
Okay.
Is that
anyway.
not? Oh, what? Oh yeah, yes. Okay, so yes, please introduce yourself.
Well, my standard introduction is that I am Migophage. I am the unholy alliance between a standard servitor drone and a intergalactic parasite. That is the lure.
How? Oh, you did tease something a tiny bit, and so I'm just curious. Are you going to be able to do something like that?
So the thing you saw may or may not be the thing that the waiting room on YouTube is up for.
Oh my god! Oh! Yeah. Oh, okay. In that case, you guys are in for a treat. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited then. Thank you for that.
Well, it's sure not a cover.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cover. I mean, as far as I'm aware of, you can sing, so I would love to hear a Migo cover. I would like to ask more about that if you'd like. Oh, so I think you said your voice is a baritone. Can you describe your singing experience?
Well, I think I'm probably closer to a baritone,
Oh, baritone. Okay.
which is a little bit broader of a range than just a standard baritone. But my experience singing is largely. I grew up in a very religious household, and we
Church.
were not allowed to not wait. We were not allowed to participate in certain religious activities. So yes, it was mostly church singing.
I see. But was that something you enjoyed?
Mm, ish. I don't know. There's that whole thing when you're a kid where you're told you have to do something, so you don't want to do it.
True. But I don't know. I've always felt like you were a little bit like affectionate towards music.
I mean, yes, I think music has. I mean, I'm a Miku fan because
Migu!
the Miku music was there in times that were it. How do I say this? Music has often been a vehicle to get me places out of my own head, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you have any songs that really like are able to do that exceptionally?
Can't. I mean, I have a few. Like one of my favorite songs is from the musical The Great Comet. It's a Broadway play that's relatively new.
Oshimashi Suse.
No, unfortunately, it's not Suse. It's not. It's. Let's keep the axe away from stream today. No, it's Josh Groban was the first person who sang the main part, Pierre, and it's the song is called Dust and Ashes, and I really do identify with that. But
Dude, he looks like Ryan Gosling.
kind of.
No,
I've never made that connection, but now that you say it, I can see it in my head.
Look at this. That is Ryan Gosling.
Well, yeah, that's Josh Groban.
Yes, so this is
Yes,
Josh Groban,
yeah.
but this is we have Ryan Gosling at home. Okay, anyway, so yes, go on. This is the song that you
Yeah. I also enjoy one of my favorite sets of songs is from the show called Once. It's a kind of an indie film, and it's about a guy in. I don't remember where it is. It's in somewhere in the Commonwealth. I think it's Scotland. I don't think it's Scotland. It might be somewhere in England. I don't recall. And he meets this girl on the street, and he's a street performer. And so there's a lot of music there. Those are great too. What are you? Yes, that one.
Good.
And see what else really. I listen to a lot of musicals, like a lot of musicals. Les Mis is a favorite.
Oh, Les Miserables. Is that what everyone
Les
calls it?
Miserables. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I've had it called for my remembrance. It's Les Mis. I'm also not French. I don't. So I don't.
Oh, you convinced me though. You said it with the ferocity of like what I expect of a French person.
Yeah. No, I that is something that I have been. Once upon a time there was.
You were French once?
No. There was a version of Migo that was a voice actor.
Really?
Yeah, that never happened, but yes, there was that. If you get me the right amount of drunk, I will slip into Scottish and probably not come back out.
Interesting. Okay, okay. What the heck? So you're just good at those kinds of like things?
Sure.
I
Let's go
didn't
with good.
I didn't know you attempted voice acting. So you've always described. I think everyone here knows like you are one with many fucking hats, right? Is there
Mhm.
is there like a known list? Can we actually attempt to itemize every skill you've attempted? Cause I'm just curious.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna have to go this chronologically,
Let's
and
fucking go!
without too doxy. I did landscaping for many years.
Okay.
And then I did construction.
Pause.
Mm-hmm.
I will make this fucking list right now. Okay.
Oh no.
Landscaping. You have mentioned this.
Oh my jeez. Wow, that is big.
Hold on. I didn't want it to be.
You're gonna need more room than that on the list.
What the fuck? All right, let's go. Final boss.
Okay, landscaping. Then I did construction.
Okay, construction.
And then I did. Well, it wasn't. How do I say this without being too doc? I'm trying to. I do value my privacy a little bit, so I try to be a little vague.
Okay.
It was commercial and very specialized construction. So the first one was residential, the second one was commercial.
What? You did two types of construction?
Well,
oh,
yes.
okay.
With very different skill sets.
What? How would I list that?
You could just do X2.
Sure. That makes sense.
And then I was a hydraulics engineer.
Oh, like a hydraulic press?
Yeah, I worked on large like hydraulic motors, motion systems that all ran on hydraulics.
Sheesh. Okay.
Then I was a mechanical engineer. And
okay.
Like I did like material testing on, well, it was aerospace adjacent.
Okay.
It was not aerospace, but it was on a lot of the materials for that either came from or were being used in
flying craft.
Well, a lot of it was for prototype spacecraft, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Prototype. What? Okay. Sheesh.
Yeah. And let's see. Okay, so after I was mechanical engineer, I was very briefly. I don't know if I'd call that. I don't know if I could actually name it, list it. It was for about 8 months. I actually was a flight engineer for a spacecraft company. I worked on the engine, the propulsion systems.
Oh shit. Okay. So you got a lot of like technical skills.
Yeah.
On top of the arts, you've been everywhere.
And then I went to art school.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a minor in animation and I majored in game design. So, yeah.
Oh, and then you got games.
Yeah, and then I did a very brief stint at a game company, and then I started playing with my own games. Oh, and I didn't mention starting about the time where I did the second construction, I started doing software engineering, and that continued the entire time. And that's where I am now. I'm a software engineer.
Okay.
But, well, that's not true. There's one more after that, because after art school, I did video game prototyping for a year.
Okay.
For years, actually. Several years.
Okay. Oh, wait. No, you're still going. Okay.
Well, so I should maybe clarify that, though.
Uh-huh.
Video game prototyping, by which I mean I was a free... I say was, but not because I quit doing it, but because we're in a recession now, and there's just not money for some of these kinds of things. What would happen is I'd be a freelance person, and they would come to me and discuss an idea, and then I would build a prototype for a mechanic or a concept in a game, and then I'd hand that off to them. So
Okay.
sort of like a R&D department, like an on-demand R&D department. So not full game prototyping. And then I started streaming after that.
Okay, and streaming. So this is technically your technical skills, but you have so many more skills you've mentioned.
These are the careers that I have done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now what about yeah.
So I do have, as part of art school, I picked up things like audio and video editing. I did work with friends and actually one of the people who worked on the thing that's coming out later today was I worked on audio with him.
Okay.
That's one of the ways I met the guy. So I did audio, mixing, engineering, all of that fun stuff. Well, I'm the kind of person who, I didn't even mention, I'm a failed writer. You have to put writing in there somewhere. That would be after flight engineer, actually.
Right after flight engineer? Okay.
Yeah.
Flight engineer.
So, I have drafted
so before art school.
9 novels and 2 novel-length serials that will never ever see the light of day.
What the heck, Cole? Would you like to touch more on that before we move on?
Yeah. I have to. How do I say this in a way that makes sense to people outside of my own brain? That's the question I ask myself 100,000 times a day. I swear. I think that everybody has a capacity for a number of stories to tell and a number of stories to tell, and they're not always the same number. I think the minimum is 1. Everybody can tell at least 1 story, and that's their own story, right?
Oh, that's a good one! Holy shit! Okay.
However, some of us have a greater capacity for telling stories and a greater number of stories. And I call myself a failed writer because I've run out of capacity. I still have stories, I just don't have any way to tell them anymore. Some of that was used up, some of that was given, and some of that was taken. So
it's hard to fathom how something could be limited like that. I don't know. It sounds very intangible in my head. So how can you tell it's run out?
Well, I hate to use the term, but it's not just like writer's block, but it's similar. Like there's this thing called blank page syndrome where you stare at a blank page and you don't know how to start. You don't know how to put words on the page. Except I have chapters of a partially finished novel that I stare at and don't know how to add to. It's just a inability. I can't explain it. It doesn't make any sense logically, but it's a creative art. It doesn't often follow logic.
True, I suppose. But I also feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm simplifying it. You can call me out if it's wrong, but is it maybe just you wanting to have it be like a certain way but not able to achieve that specific way, right?
I mean, that's probably part of it. I am kind of a perfectionist, but these are drafts, and I've long since taught myself that drafts are not perfect. In fact, one of the things that one of the ways I started writing was a what do you call it? It's not really a project. It technically is a non-profit foundation, but it's an event. It's an event called NaNoWriMo, and I don't associate with them anymore because they're idiots. But let's not get into that. Which stands for National Novel Writing Month. That's how it started. And the idea was you start November 1st with a blank page, and by the end of November, you have written a minimum of 50,000 words or a complete
Right, you
book.
mentioned this before. I see.
And so during that process, one of the things you have to learn is you have to push down like your inner editor, or you'll never get finished, right? You cannot write out a paragraph or a sentence and then scrutinize it. You have to move on to the next paragraph, the next section, the next scene. You can't sit there and re-edit everything. So that's something that I have taught myself to do a lot. And so it's not as much about not getting it right, or quote air quotes right. It's more about not having the ability to put the words together at all. And a lot of that is, the how do I say this? Life kind of kicked me in the teeth the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of messed with things a little bit.
I see. Then, well, you have plenty of other things that can keep you occupied, so I'm not too concerned. But I do hope that maybe one day those little burnt ends of creativity can maybe sprout out some new ones. Maybe you just need a muse of some kind, I suppose. But I'm hopeful for you, Migo. You have so many things.
I have things.
True, yeah. Then, I would like to loop back around, if you don't mind. So, these are the list of careers, but at some point, I know you've picked up baking bread as well as brewing. So, where does that fit in?
I mean, I've been cooking in various forms my whole life. Like that was never not a thing from a very young age. In fact, there's a story that my mother used to love to tell about basically chemistry experiments that I did when I was maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, around cooking, and then brewing started, about drinking age.
Okay.
And then I stepped away from it because I didn't even mention. Yeah, I ran 3 different businesses in different industries spread out throughout there.
Oh my god.
So one of the things I did was I did a brick and mortar retail store for a while, and that disrupted everything. And that's when I stepped away from brewing once. And then it's been I don't know, 4 or 5 years since I really picked it back up. Maybe longer than that. So
I don't understand how someone could pick up so many things. Like
boredom.
Boredom? You're just bored? Is your capacity for boredom that easy?
Yeah. It's not really actually boredom.
Oh?
It's and I don't mean this to come across as braggadocious, but it kind of is. I have much higher processing speed than the average person.
I would believe it.
And because I have a higher processing speed, it's much easier for me to overthink every single thing.
I can see that.
and so I pick up things and I learn new things and I do new things to keep me from thinking on things.
Is there...
So it's not just boredom. It's mental gymnastics in a way.
I see. Is there any sort of pleasure in there as well, or are you just like trying to always distract yourself?
Well, I mean, I've picked up a lot more things. Well, I've tried a lot more things than that. I just don't stick with them if I don't like them.
I see.
So those are the things largely I enjoy.
Okay. I feel like it would be nice to describe you as someone who likes a challenge. keeps you
That's
occupied
fair.
longer. But I am curious, is there something you would describe as the most challenging?
Well, it probably is writing, and that's because this is I've said this before, so it's not new. I have I guess you'd call it a brain defect, um, where I have some of the white matter of your the brainstem.
Mm.
Without being too critical, the way and I'm definitely not a medical doctor, but the way it was explained to me and the way I understand it is you have gray matter and you have white matter. Gray matter is the lobes of your brain, right? The two halves of your brain.
Right.
And that's just a fibrous mesh of, well, it's not fibrous, but it's like a mesh of neurons. It's just a massive network.
Right.
And then the white matter is your like your corpus callosum that communicates between the two halves. It's also part of your brainstem. It is just like fiber network. It's just high speed, single
That's the
directional flow.
neurons. Maybe?
So, well, I think the neurons are the networking stuff. I think because because they each have their own dendrites that connect to different dendrites. I don't know. As I say, I'm not a medical doctor, but my understanding is the white matter is just high speed, low connectivity. It goes from A to B and nowhere in between. The gray matter has like 100 different connections that could go anywhere. So most of your brain is made up of the gray matter that's multi-connected. I have a chunk in my brain of white matter that should not be there. It's where the gray matter should be. And so it very quick processing goes from one side to the other. It doesn't interconnect the way it's supposed to. And it bypasses part of my language center. That's why it's so hard to write. That's why it's a challenge.
You actually got this, like, scanned and figured out?
I found out about this because I had a tumor.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I see.
I had a brain tumor, and yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, had.
Oh, really?
No, I don't have, but I don't know that it hasn't. I have not kept up with the yearly checks that I should.
Sir, why not?
Well, there was this thing called COVID.
I suppose, but
and they did not let you do anything. Yeah, we're going to be feeling the effects of people skipping cancer screenings and other normal maintenance, medical maintenance for decades.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I really do hope you get that checked, Migo.
What's the worst that could happen?
Well, then we would be a little less amigo, I suppose, and I would be very, very, I don't know. I'm just upset that it's no longer that COVID era anymore, so I don't know what your excuse is at this point, but you should really go do that.
My excuse is I don't want to.
Well, I can't argue with that, I suppose, but that's just as a friend, I'm just, how dare you? I would like to have more friend time. Let me be that selfish then.
Yeah. Okay, that the brain issue is gonna have to get in line.
Well, then I would like for some higher being to please just shoot that out of the water so that I could watch this cool preview video, which, oh man, I lost the link! Everyone should go, please wait in the room for. I exit out of it a bit. You don't have it on hand, do you?
I don't know. I dropped
no,
it in
it's fine.
My Discord.
Ha!
But you're not
I'm
in
so
there,
quick.
Are you?
Oh. Are you?
Oh.
I think I am, but there's a Twitter post.
Yeah, there is a Twitter post which has the link. That's true. No, and I've said this on stream too. I am, because of a different medical issue, I have already lived half my life longer than I should have. Well, statistically should have. I'm not saying I shouldn't be here. I'm saying that people with my condition would have already gone.
I see.
So
then,
as I say,
it's a +1 after that.
The brain issues on the, already, not even the highest health priority.
Yes, but I hope the best for you, because you've been there for all of us. Seriously. About that, if you don't mind, because I understand that it's a really weird situation to be in, I suppose. Because I feel like that's out of the distribution of statistics where you are at. Does that put you in, I don't know, where is your headspace? Do you feel scared? Is that
I don't know. I don't know. I in a lot of ways I'm really flippant about life and death. Well, my own life and death, not others, because
totally
other
get
people.
that.
And a lot of it is just because I expected not to live this long by a long shot.
Right? Yeah.
So like it's never like I know it's an inevitability. I know it's coming. It's never been something I've been worried about. Although sometimes the living is the harder part than the dying.
No,
So.
for real. I do think though it's still worth it at the end. There are times in my life that I would like to just say that, like, I'm someone who didn't expect to live past, I suppose, like 18. I don't know why, but I just thought like pretty soon after that I'd die due to some of my like stupidity or whatever. And the moment I hit 21, it just kind of hit me that like, oh god, I have so many years left in me and I'm not prepared. So that feeling hit me, and for you, maybe it hit you too. But I was just interested in knowing like how do you move forward if there's anything like that.
That's an excellent question and one I'm not sure I can even answer.
That's fine. I think that's a one that we're all trying to find.
I don't know. I wasn't supposed to make it a puberty, so and by the way, they actually thought that I was not going to make it because funny story, I used to be the smallest kid in my class.
No way, me too.
You're still the smallest kid in your class.
Shut the fuck
up. And then one summer, I added 100 pounds over one summer.
What the hell?
And suddenly I was the biggest kid in the class.
The phage that wow.
Yeah, they actually thought that it was like a serious problem.
Wouldn't you have developed like how did your skin keep up with you? Cause like I suppose it is really stretchy, but like stretch marks appear over those kinds of things, right?
I don't know how it worked. It just did.
Mm-hmm.
I had youthful, lustrous skin at the time. I don't know.
One moment. Please refrain, guys, from asking just any question. Please, I don't know, put in a little more thought. Not that I don't want to talk about, is it Minecraft or Craft of the Mines, but, I just would like to respect Migo's time. Okay, so, I wanted to go back a little bit, because I was still trying to process a thing or two of what you just said. Could you remind me a bit, because I got a little distracted, I'm sorry.
I don't. I've lost the train of thought. That's just part of station. Let's see. We were talking about. I was the smallest kid, and I made it past puberty when they thought I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Okay. How's your family during all of this? Did you feel like maybe were they? I feel like family is so awkward about these kind of situations, in my opinion. So I'm curious.
Yeah. don't know. I how do I say this? Yeah, I as I mentioned, I had a brain tumor. As part of the side effects of that, I used. Here's the stupid thing, okay? And I may be making this up in my own head,
That's
but I
okay.
have memories of having such clear memory, if that makes sense. Um, I know that I had like not like a perfect memory, but like the term I think that gets thrown around a lot is a eidetic or photographic memory.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I remember having near perfect recall, and then after the chemo, among other things, I
Mhm.
don't have it anymore. So I may have just made that up in my head. That might be an imagined memory. I don't know. Um, but it also damaged my other parts of memory. So there are big chunks I don't remember at all of my childhood at all, not even a little bit.
Wow.
There are some parts I do remember, and there are some parts that I have inferred memory of.
Do you have any
Um,
like footage, maybe?
we had some photos and we have some video, but not a lot. My parents did not do a lot of that.
I see. But do you still
Uh,
recognize it as you at least?
sure, sure, why not? No,
I.
I look very. I think I look very different than I did when I was a kid.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
Significantly different.
Mhm.
Like for instance, the 11-year-old me did not have a lustrous beard and full mustache.
Wait, when's the last time you saw yourself without the beard?
No, every now and again I shave.
Okay, yeah.
It's
So like,
it's probably been 6 or 8 months.
right, right. So like, shaved Migo and 11-year-old Migo have like not that many similarities.
Not really.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay, okay, okay.
I mean they're not dissimilar. I actually saw some pictures of my father when he was a young kid,
Mhm.
and he and I actually his childhood photos and mine actually look fairly similar. Like there's
Mhm.
a clear resemblance there, but I don't look a lot like him as an adult, and nor do I look a lot like me as a child. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
A little bit. You just morphed. You became a phage. uh,
The parasite took over. What can I say?
true. You know, about your design, how did you? I assume you came up with it, or did your design get created from someone else?
No. This is I had a very I had a well, I mean, yes, I came up with the concept and the idea.
Hmm.
I described this to Dorka, who is my
Mama.
illustrator, my illustrator, my VTuber mama, and between us, um, we came up with the design. I think he did a lot of the heavy lifting, but
Hmm.
it was very heavily inspired by a few things. One of which was Invader Zim.
Let's
Uh,
go.
I'm a huge fan of Invader Zim. I like Jonan. I like Jonan Vasquez. I think he's a great. Well, he was a great creator. I haven't paid too much attention to him lately. He may not be anymore. He may be even a better one. I don't know. But I found him through Zim because it was in their infinite wisdom. Viacom decided to put the 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 cartoon that was created by the same guy who made a comic called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Oh.
A Yes, Jonan Vasquez wrote a comic called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and it is about a guy named Johnny who paints walls with human fluids to keep the demons at bay.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Um, and Viacom decided to put that guy's show on Nickelodeon instead of like, I don't know, MTV or one of their other more adult properties.
What the heck? Wait, wait. What's this show
Yeah.
called again? Johnny.
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Okay. Johnny the. Oh, this is crazy. How? I feel like I've seen this before. Let me get this image on screen too so people can see. Boop. Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. You said you're a fan of the creator again?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Jonan Vasquez.
Jonan Vasquez.
Which you think that maybe the name Johnny is a self-insert?
Right? You think so?
Just maybe.
Ah!
Yeah.
Some people can tell one story right, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He also did a sort of a spin-off called Squee, which is hilarious, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did another one that was something like Murder Bunny or something like that. I don't remember what it is. Something Bunny. He's done a bunch of stuff. I think but his style reminds me a lot of Junji Ito.
Okay. Horror. Very, yeah.
Yeah. Like that dark, twisted. Like for instance, I think most people would know Ito from Uzumaki.
Mm-hmm. Oh, R.I.P. that Netflix show.
Yeah, I think it actually did. The first season did actually come out on Adult Swim, didn't it?
I've only heard about
episode, maybe not the whole season.
I've heard people talk about the first two, and the first being very well liked, and the second one being shit on like no other.
Yeah, and that's what I heard too. I heard that they went they really went full tilt on the first one, and then they were basically had no budget left, and they just stumbled through the second one.
Wait, pause. Chotomate, where did you pick up anime?
Oh, where in the process?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, my father was a software engineer, doing some really bleeding edge stuff. And so he knew the horrors that are the internet.
Oy.
And so we weren't allowed to have the internet in my home.
What? Okay.
We were also not allowed to have video game consoles in my home. We didn't have cable television until I was like in middle school, maybe?
So you had to have left the nest by then to have come across the anime?
Well, my earliest remembrance was a super old replay of Speed Racer on Cartoon Network when we were somewhere. We weren't home.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. Well, we used to travel a lot as kids. We went on. I've stepped foot in every single United States state except Hawaii. I've put boots on the ground.
What a state to miss! You should definitely try.
Well, that's because you can't drive to Hawaii. Well, I mean, it would be difficult to drive to Hawaii.
Oh, is flying not on the table?
Well, it just when we were kids. That was not
I suppose. Okay, yeah.
No, you don't. I've said this on stream before, so it's not any surprise. I have 8 siblings.
Oh my god, yeah, big family.
Yeah, it just was not financially practical to fly 11 people across the country.
Same, but fuck it. 11 people everywhere else? Hell yeah. That does not... I feel like the cramped car also would be hard, right?
We, for many years, had a very large, I think the earliest thing I can remember is this giant extended van that we used to have. And so it was basically built on a truck chassis with 2 extra feet on it, and it was a passenger van.
Okay. Wow! Did you like it?
No. I hated road trips. I hated them.
Oh, why?
Because it was 12 hours a day for a week straight with, Mom, he's touching me. He's touching me. I'm not on your seat. Yeah.
Really? It was like that?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna guess that the age range between all of your siblings is pretty wide. Like, does it span across generations?
Pretty wide. Let me think. Let me do a little math here.
Yeah.
17 years, I think,
Dang.
between my eldest sibling and my youngest sibling.
Okay.
I think it's 17 years.
Wait. So then you've definitely come across, right? Like meanings like Zoomer language and feeling like the shift of like humor, right?
Yes.
I want to talk more about that because I'm experiencing it, and I'm sure it's like I don't know how. When did it first happen for you? Like, when did you start realizing like, oh, times are changing with humor like memes and.
I don't know, because I grew up a lot. As I said, we didn't have cable, so we watched like PBS, and so
Okay.
I grew up on old reruns of British comedies.
Okay.
Which is, by the way, I wanted to touch on this, and this is a great segue. You have said a couple of times, like, that you thought I didn't like you or anything. It's just that I have a very dry and sarcastic wit, and I think that comes across as, like, aloofness or indifference.
I suppose.
In many cases.
No. Okay, so I can pinpoint why. It's just because I can tell that I'm someone like no. Okay, if I don't know, if we were to work together, I would come into like the workspace all bubbly and energetic, and you would hate that vibe. Is how I've always like thought of it. Like I felt like I've always been too much for you. or I don't know.
Well, you're probably right, actually.
I know.
I'm not that kind of. I don't know. I do things in a more subdued, less energetic manner than you do.
And I also have realized, like, I do operate on a rather, like, illogical thing. And I have always thought of you as someone who adheres to logic quite strictly. And so I feel like those types of people who love logic so much cannot stand people who just do things so inefficiently, kind of thing as well. So I had all these like preconceived notions of how like this personality type operates, and you've been such a sweetheart, and outside of it, breaking my molds. And so it is still like me trying to impose onto you like a projected stereotype I have in my head, but I've never let that stop me from like praising you and thanking you, and like I don't know. I just respect you so much, man. I can't help it. So, yeah. Let me just move on.
Anyway, what were we talking? Oh yeah, the shift in so the shift in like times and stuff. So
yes, sir.
I grew up on that very dry British comedy, and so it was always kind of a shock whenever I saw people not being very sarcastic. Like I used to work with a friend of mine who I still talk to. Every now and again. And my boss used to call it character assassination, because we would just be like, we would say the most sarcastic banter, and part of it was we were teenagers and we were boys, so we give each other shit. That's what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a very typically male thing.
Guys are just so vile to each other.
Well, I think, and I actually had this discussion. I think it was in Semi's stream.
I was there. Yes.
Where we were just talking about like we don't like. I don't think very few of us like when you're in the group, you don't take half of what people say about you seriously. Like
That's
you just
true.
don't.
Yeah. Guys are very good at not attaching themselves to words.
Well, I think part of it is we, for a long time in society, have had to, right? We've had to not
gotta
be
let them
emotive.
roll off.
Yeah, because if you were a highly emotive man a couple decades ago, you were a drag on society. You were a problem, because probably you shot your mouth off and you got into a fist fight, or you were started a barroom brawl or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for a long time, that's just what it was. So I think a lot of it is just that. It's that we've trained ourselves to just not take stuff too seriously. Either that, or we, become a
Okay,
hothead
so
and,
obviously
lost our
I
way.
I don't identify as a male anyway, or have those kinds of experiences. How do you just train yourself like that?
I don't know. I don't know how to train yourself.
It
I
just
think it just was a
happens.
thing that happens.
I
And I think a lot
suppose.
of it is
Well,
group mentality, right? When you're in a group who that's the norm, you get used to that being the norm, whatever the norm is.
okay. Well, wait. Like, what has been the norm?
I mean, as far as like an in group of well, I think it's very different. I behave very differently in a mixed group than I do in a male dominated space. And I
Okay.
think most people do.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Um I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but there are definitely things that I do not say in public in mixed company that I because I self-censor. Like that's part of it.
Yes, it's safe to do so. People do tend to like become sensitive about certain things more than others.
Mhm. Yes. And I don't I don't go out of my way to piss people off or offend, but a lot of times I don't care if people are offended because
Mhm.
I feel like in most cases offense is taken, not given. Like I can say something and you can be offended by it and it can be totally innocuous. And that's not my intent, right?
True.
So I don't generally go out of my way to be inoffensive.
Mhm.
But like especially when I'm streaming, I don't try to be offensive. I want streams to be an escapism, right? I don't want it to be. It's why I don't discuss things like real world politics. It's why I don't discuss things like religion or other sensitive topics in the in my streams because I'm not trying to be offensive. However, I generally don't care when I'm in public
Mm.
if you are offended because that, as I say, it's taken, not given in most cases. But when I'm in mixed company, especially when I'm like around certain family members, I have to hold my tongue because they will be offended at a lot of things, and I know they will.
You sound
And
like
I
you've been
think
through
it's
a lot.
yeah. Well, as I say, my family is very religious, and I am not. So I have to be a little bit cautious about what I say around them.
I understand that. I really want to talk more about that. Can you? So, is it okay if we talk more about that?
I mean, I'm there are yeah.
Okay.
There is something that I would say on that matter, but I don't know how deep you want to go.
Okay, so this is where I would like to touch on. Like, I am interested in growing up in the household with different ideas because I can relate to that, and I know we want to avoid like be political, so we can avoid like specifics on what you believe and stuff. But we don't have to. We don't have to. I would like to just more talk about like what kind of behaviors did you get for your thoughts?
Well, I mean, in generalities, and this actually might be a little insensitive, but I'm gonna say it anyway
Okay.
because it's your stream and it's not mine. Uh,
Thank you.
I don't know that there's such thing as an atheist. I think there are anti-theists, there are theists, and there are agnostics. And let me define the terms a little bit so it makes sense.
Thank you.
A theist obviously is someone who is has a religious belief and guides their life accordingly. An anti-theist is someone who cannot abide the fact that there are people who exist who are theists, and they have to remove theism from the world. And then there's the people in the middle who are just the theology doesn't influence their behavior.
Okay.
And I think most of those individuals are, I would classify them as agnostics, not as what we term atheists. Because, well, first of all, there's that old saying about there are no atheists in foxholes.
I don't know what that means.
referring. That's an old. I think that came from the military. Terry, foxhole is a like a trench where you are, where you are embattled.
Oh wait, so
And, like,
there are no
bullets are flying
atheists?
around.
Oh, there are no atheists in war, basically?
Yeah, basically, because when your chips are really down, when you're really up against it, there are basically everybody reaches out to some higher
Something,
power, and
yeah.
and
For a
maybe
miracle.
that's for a miracle. Like if you're stuck in a pit and you have a squadron of tanks coming down on you, you're hoping that something happens.
Yeah.
Whether that's air support, whether that's the mighty hand of God reaching down and smiting your enemies, whatever, right? And I feel like that's how a lot of people operate, is that a lot of people are not necessarily opposed to the idea of a higher power. They may not believe it, and that's fine. I'm not saying that I do or do not. I'm just saying that I think that there is a middle ground that I think most people occupy.
I see.
And to bring that back to your original, the original train is I have a couple of siblings who I would classify as anti-theist. They're not atheist, despite their claims. They oppose religion in all forms. And I think it's very interesting to see that, because we all came from the same household, right? We had
Same
not-
ground.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the same experiences, obviously, but it was similar.
Mm-hmm.
And at least one of the siblings is older than I am. At least one of the siblings is younger than I am. And so it's not like it was a time shift. It wasn't like a culture shift that caused this. I mean, so I think it's interesting to see. I mean, I can only attribute that to personality. Because I think we all had the same basic framework growing up, and now some of those views have diverged because of like living conditions. Like one of my siblings lived in a place with very strong political ties, and that shaped their worldview, and they behave differently now. Some of us have moved to other areas where, like, I spent a long time in a very rural part of the country where there was, when I was doing construction, where there was no, like, you didn't care about politics. You were trying to just get your job done, and that meant, in many cases, you were fighting against some of the power structures, because you were just trying to get your job done, and sometimes there was red tape. Like when you're doing, especially when you're doing like commercial construction, there's a lot of red tape, and you have to get everything, all your documents signed and all your ducks in a row, and that
What do you mean when you say red tape?
Like bureaucracy. You have to get, like, for instance, you have to have certain inspections performed on a building in order to hook it up to the electrical grid. All of your electrics in the building have to be, certified. I mean, certified with air quotes. They have to inspect it, make sure they meet code. And some of that's necessary. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have oversight. I'm just saying that can inform your worldview if you are, say, an electrician, and 50% of your week is waiting on the city inspector to show up and sign off on a building before you can, like, do the next thing that gets you paid. And so I think that informed some of my behavior when I was younger, because I did spend a lot of time dealing with bureaucracy that in some cases was pointless, in some other cases it was warranted. And there are other members of my family who, like, one of my family members has very close state ties. They work with state government a lot.
You live such a big family. What the heck? Huge. So many variety.
Yeah, I've always actually wondered what it would be like if you had something like a family business, like you know how you have those cases where you have the doctor who then has the surgeon children,
Yeah,
or the lawyer who has lawyer children.
Right.
Not, I'm the closest thing to that in my family, and that's
Yeah,
only because I'm a software engineer and my father was a software engineer.
but
But
everyone
I'm only
else
a
is.
software engineer because it was easy and it paid the bills.
Dang. So not. Well, it's still funny that it played out like that. But I'm so impressed that you not only you but your family has come out to be very like multi-skilled, multi-connected. It's a little mind-boggling. But I would like to ask more about that after our break. I need to go do a 5-minute small break. And during this time, Migo is free to chat or go on a BRB screen. Which one are you feeling?
Well, I was going to do what I normally do and annoy people with shoutouts. That's what I was going to do.
Okay.
Because it's fun to tease people, and I can do that because I have the power.
Yep. Okay. Then I will just mute, and you're free to just talk it out with them. But also, guys, feel free to ask questions after I come back from my break. We'll do a little chat section where chat can peek into his brain, how you guys would like. And after that, I'll just continue on with my questions. Well, I think I'm gonna start doing this thing. I want to come back onto. Well, I'll just use this thing. Your other. I don't want to dox your family, but if you can, I'd like to. I'm interested in knowing like some of their like. Is there a way to do this without hurting your privacy?
You're gonna have to give me a little more than that.
I want to.
What they. I can talk about what they do in generalities if
Sure,
that's what you'd like.
Sure, I would love to do that. Okay, siblings. Well, that's in Japanese. General sibling generalities. Okay, then I will return in 5 minutes. Thank you guys so much for listening so far. And oh, you feeling okay? You doing good?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, we're good.
I've just been. You probably heard this sound a lot because I have a water bottle that I keep drinking from.
Oh, it's fine. That's good that you're staying hydrated. Do you think you can go another hour?
Oh, I got plenty of time. You want to go
Sweet
another hour?
deal.
We can go another hour.
Sweet. Okay, just checking in. All right, guys, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't do that.
Need to get a perfect in order to get the
And
3
welcome,
stars.
64. How are you?
I only ever needed
No,
the one,
I
and
had
that's the
beers
one on
last
my
night.
flag.
I'm good. I do not need more. I do not need more alcohol this morning. Trust me on that one. Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, that's right. You mentioned you were at a wedding. That's right. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, even though you've got clearly other things to be doing. I appreciate it. And by the way, if you don't know who 64 is, you should know because he's a pretty awesome dude. Just saying. Just putting that out there. Everyone in this chat. Awesome, dude. Who else can I tease? There are more people here I could tease. I know there are more people I can tease. But you all are being. Oh, we can do this. Let's do this. Anyway, yeah. So I do. Did that work? Did that go through? Yeah. I'm always really bad. I have the English keyboard, but Twitch tries to help you out with the username display name, and it doesn't work with commands. So I often get commands in other countries wrong, unfortunately. But anyway, what was I gonna do here? What is this? Was ist los? Ah. That. Yes, that is sort of broken German. That's something I haven't mentioned. Yes, I did speak German for a while. I did not grow up in Germany. I did not grow up speaking German. But, you know, it is what it is. What else were we gonna do here? Aw. We can tease Vespi, though. Don't tell Vespi. Don't tell Vespi. Let's see what clips we get. We can play the
Oh, there
gotcha.
you are, son. How was she?
I found her a bit aggressive.
All right now, son.
That's not a Vespi clip.
You can't give up. As long as you keep trying, you'll... Wait. There's another one. Okay, don't forget. Suave and cool.
Just look at everything. The room, everything. The rooms are so huge.
Oh, see? 64 is awesome.
Dragon
Right
heads
there.
everywhere. I wonder. Oh, excuse me. I like
Oh my. So I started this stream off with how big is this? This is a liter? A liter. No. 1,800 mils of water. And I am now down to about halfway. About halfway. So I have been well hydrated. But yes, it is interesting. Anyway, how's chat? How is chat? I was gonna say something, but I don't remember what I was gonna say. That's good, right? That's what you want. What's the old phrase? Smoke 'em if you got 'em, because we're on a break, right? I don't think people use that anymore. I don't think they do. I think generally speaking, smoking has been made to be a social faux pas in most places. At least around where I'm at. I can't speak for the whole world. So, you know, it is what it is, I imagine. Hold on, okay, there we go. My computer decided it needed to pop up a window in front of my face. Anyway, yeah, so for those of you who may be unaware, I do have a premiere coming out in a while. I don't know how long it is. It's a while. And let me actually go pull that up, because I don't remember now. I said it last night, so don't. So in like 4 hours, it says 4 hours, right? Is that really right? No, it's 3 hours. No, it is 4 hours. It's just under. It's just under 4 hours. It's 3 hours and 52 minutes. That's the first thing on my YouTube channel, not to be confused with my VOD channel. If you're interested, feel free to check that out. I think it'll be interesting for a lot of reasons. And I will also be streaming game dev later today if you're interested. So you could check that out too. Yeah, I'm gonna shield myself. Deal with it. Because why not, right? Also, when Vespi gets back, we should all pretend like we had some really cool, awesome conversation, and that she missed out on it, and she totally just came back as soon as I said that.
No, totally not.
Oh, I saw you.
No.
Oh.
Wow. You guys must have had a totally awesome conversation while I was gone. Anyway.
Oh my. That was perfect timing.
I'm so
Perfect timing.
glad. That was exactly 5 minutes too. Woo! I got my phone charged. I got my water refilled. I was so productive. Okay.
Your phone charges in 5 minutes? What alien technology is this?
It was not being charged before, and now it is being charged. I did not say
you
it was being
plugged it
full.
in.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was living on the wild side. I didn't know where the charger was, and I was like, I'll find it.
Oh, one of the benefits for my setup is I don't use Apple products in my daily life. So I have one Apple charger, and it is at my computer because that is the place where the Apple phone lives.
Oh, you have it as well for tracking?
Yes.
Hold on. Before I touch on the question I wanted to ask, did you need to wrap up with anything with chat though? Or,
No.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, how did you get into VTubing? Where did you pick up VTubing in this?
Well, my story starts during the COVID times. I actually got introduced. So I after we got cable, I saw a few anime here and there, and then when I moved out on my own, it was an ex of mine. She was a big con person who really liked anime.
Let's go, weebs!
And I wouldn't. She was not as much of a weeb as I am now. So
You surpassed her
by a long shot. I wonder what she's doing now. I don't want to know, but I do wonder.
Curious.
Anyway,
I get that.
X's are X's for a reason.
True.
No. And then I just kind of spiraled down from there. I mean, I used to watch like fan subs because like there was not as much quality availability of anime in English language, and I have tried and failed about 5 times to learn Japanese, so
Try number 6, Roku. Let's go.
Yes. Well, okay. In fairness, it's not that I have failed; it's that I have not made much progress. I have not stopped necessarily.
You're submerging yourself by watching our streams and.
Well, I mean, actually, that is part of the reason why I watch many of the Japanese creators, because I do actually pick up a lot. I've learned how to hear it quite a bit.
Those fast
Anyway, so
fingers.
after that, I fell into Hatsune Miku, and Vocaloids, and that I think is how. Well, I mean, it's a confluence. So I actually got into VTubing because of Gamergate, and I know that. Yes, Gamergate.
What's that?
Oh my. Oh, now you're making me feel like dust. Gamergate was a reactionary event that I don't want to get into because it's very politically charged.
It's
Around
got harassment
game creators.
campaign on the Wikipedia.
Yeah, which is Wikipedia is very wrong on that, but okay. But again, I'm not going to get too deep into that one. And because I was at the time trying to make it, like I was into video games really deeply, and so I was introduced to a number of creators as trying to keep abreast of what was going on with the gaming scene. And that led me to one creator, which led me to another creator, who then introduced me to Korone and Miko.
Let's go!
I think the first clip I ever saw of a VTuber was Korone playing the old Doom, like the original Doom. And I was like, man, she's got skills. Like she was doing really well too, like really well. And so like, man, that girl's got skills. So I followed her, and then I saw that clip of Mikochi where she was playing GTA in the middle of COVID, right? And she's like sniping people, and she's like, "Go home, stay in your home." Oh, she's such a chaotic.
I'm glad that's
lady.
the clip you found of her playing GTA.
I mean, that's not the only clip I found, but
Well, I'm
that's
sure
the
you
one that
found
sticks in my
others, but
memory.
if that's the one
Lots.
that introduced you, that's so good.
And then because of them, I found Hololive.
Pie.
And then because of Hololive, I found the Beer Pals. And because of the Beer Pals, I found Numbers Man. And because of Numbers Man, I found Vespi.
Let's go! And here we are today.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
And here I am today.
that's actually fantastic. What a nice little recounting. Oh, what the heck? I hope he heard that. I hope he knows that. I don't know if he knows that. He's what led you to all of us.
Yes, and it was. That's actually a funny story. I was in the Beer Pal Discord, which I'm not in anymore, and it's not because I don't want to be there or anything. It's just, man, that place is so busy.
Same.
And I just cannot have 200 or 300 messages in Discord, in an afternoon. I just can't do that. It's too much for me, especially since most of it was not like stuff that I was, all that interested in.
That makes
like
sense.
there's conversations that I just didn't want to participate in, and
Yeah, and it was
having
just
all those
people.
notifications were.
Yeah. How did you meet Roku?
He was just in the Discord, and I think the first real personal interaction I had with him was there was a channel in there to share stuff.
Mm.
And I'll be 100% honest, I was a little drunk one night, and I was just like, fuck it, I'll share this short story I'm working on. And normally I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And he responded, and we started chatting from that.
That's so cute. My heart is so touched. Thank you for writing. Thank you for writing. Thanks for getting drunk too, I suppose, but whatever. Do you remember what he said?
No, I don't remember at all.
Were you impressed by it, or did you think what is this guy talking about?
I am easily the most harsh critic of my own work, no matter what that work is.
Right?
And so I usually take what people say with not a grain of salt, but an ocean's worth of salt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I usually can figure out if someone's just being just a comment for the algorithm kind of thing, if that makes sense, or if they're being flippant, or if they're being sincere. Usually, he came across as just very sincere.
As he always does. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, then, because I feel like we were in the server at the same time, and I somehow missed you entirely. Because I
mostly lurked in that server.
I see. Then, hold on. What brought you to specifically that one? To the Beer Pals server?
It was Bay.
Oh! With their collab, yeah?
Yeah, I
Their
caught
very
that.
first one?
The in-person collab where the two were collabing together, and I said, hey, I like that person. I'll check them out. And then I think the first thing I did was what I have done a lot, which was I went in and I dropped a bunch of gift subs or something. Because that's the way in which I operate, apparently.
Yes, no kidding. As you've always had. Huh?
Yeah. Let's not talk about the amount of money I spent last month.
I don't think you... yeah, okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's great. Have you joined other Discord communities like that before? Because, I don't know, I'm usually picky with which servers I join.
I'm in a lot of servers, and typically I don't join very many.
But the Beer Pal
I'm kind
one
of
was
slow to join. You know why I did? I was like, hey, I'll check it out. Granted, at the time, I think I had maybe 20 servers on my list. Because before that, COVID times, I had everybody you knew had a server.
Yeah.
And so I had reached the maximum servers, which is 100, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
And so just before that, I had gone through and cleared out most of my servers.
Okay.
So I just happened to have room in my cap that time. I mean, I don't know how many servers I have now, but it's a lot more than 20.
I see. Well, yeah, mine too.
Uh,
Folders. Thank God for folders, right?
Yep. Yep. I have. In fact, I have like 10 folders.
I
So, I mean,
and you were able to keep up with the notifications?
I have a lot of. That's the other thing. I lurk in a lot of servers. I'm not super active in a lot of servers. And I mute most notifications. In fact, I usually only have like role pings on for some servers.
Mhm.
I usually suppress here and everyone always. And I usually mute all the channels that I don't want to, that I'm not interested in.
That makes sense, but that's a lot of work, isn't it? Like, specifically for
it's-
channels you're not interested in?
Sure. Well, I mean, usually I mute the categories, not just the channels. But
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a couple of minutes of work every time I join a server, usually.
Would you say
And then
you
whenever
like Discord?
I get annoyed. I don't know. I think it's a useful tool sometimes. Sometimes.
That's giving it a lot of praise in my opinion. For you, that's crazy.
I think it's it's a great way to maintain a community.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's terrible for building a community. I think it's terrible for actual like long-term communication. But for like just a place where people could pop in and have a chat and pop back out, I think it works fairly well. I think it's more useful to get around the terrible platform notification problem. You know, because Twitch and YouTube never, ever are capable of sending out a notification.
Yeah, but Discord can ping it just fine.
Yep, they got that nailed. Like they may not have like video transfer or streaming worked out quite right, and half the time the messages can be spoofed, but man, they can ping you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that I like Discord. I think I think it has its uses. Yeah,
Anytime you hear that, does that not give you like a heart attack?
a little bit. I don't, and that's the other thing. I don't like phone calls. Like I don't generally do phone calls.
You're doing
okay,
great.
That's not true. That's not true. I think I'm perfect. I think I'm fine on the phone, but I don't like doing them. Right? If I have to call like my bank,
I get that.
I have to like specifically put it on my calendar to call my bank. So otherwise, I will just keep putting it off.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to call my boss, it has to be like a right now kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, I'm in like Discord or Teams or something like that, and I do like texting. But
It's just a lot more comfy.
well, but I will say, the one thing that really annoys me is when somebody writes an entire freaking novel in a text message. And you're like, dude, if you had just called me, it would have been a 25-second conversation, and we could have both moved on with our day.
No, that's so hard. Oh man. This is why I feel like we would not get along. I am both. I will send novels, and sometimes I will have to call you, just be like, hey, can you do this for me? I don't know, man. But that's funny. That's funny. Hold on, really quick. I realized I forgot 64's question. I deleted the other ones. I'm sorry, Rabbit. They're just not serious. But there's one question, and then we can ask, and then we can go back. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, 64 asks, why are you the perfect man?
Because I am an alien hybrid, so I don't have to be.
That's your answer?
No. In seriousness, I'm not. I'm very, very far from perfect. And that's actually part of my whole mentality. I don't. How would I say this? I don't think I'm a bad person. I do my best to be a good person and be respectful to people who earn respect, be courteous to people generally. I try to treat people as as though they're not being malicious by default, just maybe ignorant. Because, there's a fine line between malice and ignorance. But I am not like a paragon person. I have lots and lots of flaws, and I am aware of most of them.
So 64.
And so I generally treat myself as a piece of shit, because that's generally what all human beings are until proven otherwise. And that allows me not to be complacent and become a piece of shit.
I really like that answer for many reasons. I hope he heard that. Do you think there's such thing as a perfect man?
I think he mentioned he was gonna catch the VOD. I think he's busy.
Well then,
IRL
VOD
right now,
watchers, hi. Okay. Then we'll just go back. So, my question. No, fuck. What were we talking about again?
I don't remember. We were talking about VTubers before, but there was something in between.
Right.
Oh,
No!
You wanted to talk about my siblings in generality.
Yes, true. Fuck. Okay, there's so many things to talk about. I hate it. Okay, fine. Yeah, siblings generality.
So, as I mentioned, I have 8 siblings. I am the exact middle. I have 4, both older and younger, and 2 of my older siblings are girls and 2 are boys.
Ooh.
2 of the younger are boys and 2 are girls.
Equal on all ends. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I have a
exact middle child.
Do you believe that older, middle, and younger siblings behave like the same way, or there's like similarities between them?
No, I think the stereotypes of like the youngest child and the middle child are absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, okay.
My younger siblings are absolutely spoiled to death.
Mm-hmm.
My older siblings were also kind of spoiled because, my parents were still learning what to do with children.
Yeah.
And so they got away with a lot. And then that caused rules to be created for the younger, the middle children.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time the youngest came around, they had, I don't want to say this, it sounds bad, but they had stopped caring. Like they were less rule oriented by the time the youngest came around. How's that? That's a better way to frame that. Yeah. But no, I definitely am a middle child in a lot of ways. I think that I have very much the stereotypical, and not to be woe is me but I definitely don't have the self-confidence, and I do feel like I was skipped over a lot as a child, and I think that has affected my life. But I think those are absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my experience.
You specifically called out middle and younger. Does that mean you disagree for older?
I don't know. My younger siblings very much conform to the stereotype. I think I conform a lot to the stereotype. I think my older siblings sort of conform, but not as tightly.
Can I ask in like what way, or?
Well, I mean, some of my siblings made unwise life choices when they were young. And that I think was a byproduct of, in some ways, of my parents not being very experienced, and some of it was their own decision making. But it does not fall in the normal like stereotype of older children as well.
Okay. I see.
And then I have like my oldest sister is like the teacher's pet, and that is not what I normally associate with older siblings.
I can kind of see that. Yeah. Right. So thank you. So about their generalities, my bad. I tangented off.
Well, we have a pretty diverse group. Like, one of my siblings is a accountant. One of them, a couple of them, well, I guess a couple of them are in medical field.
What?
Nurses.
That's crazy. So you guys also cover medical. Huh.
A couple of them are in, one of them's in like, one of them, how would I say this in a general form? Actually, I guess two of them are accountants. I forgot about that my sister's an accountant too. I always forget. So we have two nurses, two accountants. We have two software engineers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Is you and your dad, or you and another sibling?
No, me and my older brother.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hi, PK. Hi, Mama.
And hi, Dorka. That's my VTuber mama right there. Welcome. One of them is in like, how would I say this? I mean, she has a degree in like child development,
Okay,
but she's not like a psychologist.
I see. What would you
So,
call that?
I could very much put a name on it. I just don't want to get that specific.
Oh, sorry. Then allow. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then one of us is a truck driver. Does
Okay.
semi truck, does transport of goods across the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing people. I know I am. One of them is a professional drug addict. And I think that's all of them.
Okay. Do you wait? That's across. Wait, are all your siblings like working I suppose adults.
Yes.
Okay,
all
okay.
of them. All of us are adults.
Mm-hmm.
No, that is only one of them that made poor life choices. Yeah. There's more.
Is there anything on that you can elaborate on?
Well, okay, so the other software engineer in the group that is not me was also an active addict. I guess technically he still is an addict. I don't know how that works. We apparently have addictive personality traits in our family.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yours is VTubers. I'm so sorry.
Well, there are definitely cheaper addictions. But there are definitely more healthful ones too. So, it's actually really funny because two of my siblings absolutely are addicts, but their addiction of choice is like exercising.
Okay.
And they're neurotic about it. I mean, they are absolutely neurotic about it.
I guess whatever helps them.
Yeah, as I say, there are better choices and worse choices.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he was an addict. He was an active user of several illegal substances for a number of years, and then he got clean, and turned his life around, and so I hope I think he learned a lot from that experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Seriously, props to him. That's hard.
Yeah, and what's really funny is he was using hard drugs, like hard.
That stuff is. Yeah.
And he got off of that, and then he said that quitting smoking was harder than hard drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that say about us?
Right. Do you think you can describe like the things he went through to like overcome, if you know?
I honestly was not there for most of that.
That's okay. Yeah.
So
Some of those things are very private battles anyway. So.
I know that he went to a treatment facility. When he finally got clean, he was on his second treatment facility. So fun fact, by the way, people who are addicted to substances, whether that's alcohol or illicit, substances of any flavor.
In my case, it's pepper.
Typically, well, here's some bad news for you. Typically, it's like 1 in 6 is a success rate.
Oh, of quitting?
Yes. So usually you have to try. You have to try and actually go through the steps to rid yourself of those behaviors, and then you have to do it 5 more times.
Yep. There's trials.
So, yeah.
Props to anyone who attempts it, goes through it, and fails and tries again, or takes break and tries again. Like, it's hard. Gotta really push yourselves here, guys. Gosh.
Yeah. Well, and then you have people like my younger brother who doesn't try, and that's why he's a professional drug addict. Yeah.
I suppose the age here is probably maybe one day though, unless you don't think of that for them.
Okay, this goes back to my own little world view. I expect people to be people, which is to say
They'll do what
that I
they
have
want.
a pretty low regard for what people generally will do.
I think that's a safer mindset.
A person can prove themselves to be different. When you know them as a person, they will. You can reasonably have higher expectations of them. But people as a general group are not such good creatures. I mean, we do a lot of dumb and malicious crap as a species.
I agree.
So,
yeah.
And generally and I've said this a lot of places, people don't change. Unless they really want to, or they really have to. And that just isn't the case most of the time. Like you just can't get I have an aunt who is morbidly obese, and despite being told that she has to lose 100 pounds or she will die in the next few years, she cannot bring herself to make the lifestyle changes required. And it's one thing, like I love the fact that that she loves herself, and she does. I do not love the fact that she cannot bring herself to express that love in a way that doesn't include a gallon of ice cream. Okay, that's a little mean and not true, but you know what I mean.
I can kind of see where you're coming from here. It makes a lot of sense, because people I think people enter cycles, these cycles that they can't break out of, and because of those cycles, I can see what you mean, that people are just gonna people. But I think once people get tired of being in a cycle enough, once there's a will, there's a way. Once you really get pushed to that point of like, I need out of this cycle, which, like you said, like you don't realize you're in a cycle until you want to get out of it, right? Many people, you don't think people, once they, well,
I think my grandmother would call it a come to Jesus moment. Or
yeah,
I would more properly say a moment of clarity. Once you make that kind of self-awareness moment where you realize the situation that you are actually in, and the negative consequences associated with whatever you're struggling with, it can be easier to actually break out of that behavior. But
it's just
unfortunate. Most people just don't.
Exactly. Those moments, you can't. I've learned that you can't induce it in people. They just have to come to it naturally by themselves. And you're lucky if you had it early enough, and good luck to you if you find it after a shitstorm. Just whenever you do, I think some people actually will never find it, and that's just unfortunate. But I do believe that most of us do not. Most of us do. Most of us are capable. And just because I don't know. I think I'm here. I can help. I can do something with myself at least. And if I can do it, I'm so confident other people can.
Yeah, well, no, I think people are 100% capable. They just aren't motivated.
Motivation
I think that's one of
is
the
the tricky thing here.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the best parts of humanity is we really can do whatever we put our minds to.
Right?
We really can. Any
Yeah.
problem that we face, we can overcome. And we've done this over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
However, most of us just don't have the will or the motivation to actually do it.
I think the problem is that I think people are waiting for something like motivation. Motivation is not gonna do what you guys want. It's you. You are going to do it. Getting motivated obviously helps, but you can decide to do that thing. Do the first step. You don't have to wait for motivation. Motivation can come and go, but you will not. You just get, even if you are not wanting to do it, sometimes just doing it like one step at a time will get there. That's all. I get so upset when I hear people. I'm like, I don't feel motivated. It's like, who cares? Do it anyway.
Yeah, well, and that's very much what they preach a lot of in writing.
Mhm.
Is there is no such thing. There's this idea that there's no such thing as writer's block, because that's just you being unmotivated, and you have to make your own motivation and just sit down and do the thing. And I think that's true of most things. You just have to do the thing.
Mhm.
And it can be hard. I mean, I certainly don't do the thing a lot of the times. So,
I think it's so easy to convince ourselves to not do the thing, but I've practiced the skill of not letting myself talk the moment I want to do something. The moment I want to do something, I'm just gonna do it, because the moment I think about it, I'm gonna try to find myself reasons of why. I get hit with thinking like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't think I have the time. No, who cares? Just do it. You want it?
well, yeah, and as the phrase goes, strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. Then again, moderation is key. You don't want to do this for everything, because then I'm broke and I have nothing to spend money on.
No, there's always more stuff to spend money on.
Oh, my bad.
There's
I said
always more
I said it
stuff.
backwards. I have no money,
No money
to
to
spend
spend.
things on.
Oh, well, that's certainly true.
That's
A
different.
lot
That's
of
different.
time. Yeah.
I've gotten way better though. I've broken out of my cycle and it's painful, and I want to die every day because now I have so much to save up for. But that's just, oh
Yeah, imagine saving up.
yeah. Stop it, Vigo. Oh, you're September.
I kid.
You're September.
I kid.
I
I
suffer
kid.
thinking. I've seen you in
No,
multiple chats during September. I know what you've done,
Okay.
Vigo. How
Okay,
can-
okay.
Are you financially
full
okay?
disclosure.
That's a small
Yes,
talk question.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you
Okay,
sure?
okay. So let me break this out for you.
Please,
I have
please.
4 bank accounts.
4?
One bank account is specifically for incoming money. That's all it does. It
Okay.
takes money in.
Mm-hmm.
One account is my spending money. That's money I can just spend on whatever. One account is for things like reoccurring charges, like cell phone, utilities bills. That's also the grocery fund. That's like the household fund, as it were.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then one is in a different institution that does not have instant transfer, that is a savings account.
Oh, smart.
And so when money goes into that account, it takes 3 or 5 days to get it out of that account. And that's
Purposely.
intentional.
Yes, yes. More friction,
and so,
less. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's less easy to just spend money. Now, what happened in September? I will be 100%. I spent $900 on subs.
Doc, that's literally all of my 7th earnings, but. Oh.
Yeah, across many different channels, bunch of different people. But the only reason that money, okay, and this is the really actually sad part. So a portion of my income every month goes into those accounts
Mhm.
automatically. So
Right.
I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
However, unbeknownst to me, well, actually I did know this, it just wasn't on top of mind. The way my bank account works, if you're transferring it to a third-party account, you can either set a regular transfer that is like the 1st of every month or the 11th of every month or whatever day, a day of the month. Or you can set it every, I think it's every 2 weeks or something like that. However, if you set it for a specific day, it's not open-ended. So, you have to set a sequence. So what you do is you say, I want to transfer money on the 1st of every month
Okay.
for the next 24 months. You have to have a number involved. And I forgot to re-up it.
Oh my god.
So there were actually 2 months of money in that account that should not have been. I'm fine. I have plenty of savings. I have enough that I could not work for like a year and still pay all my bills in savings. But some of the money that should have gone to savings did not, and that's why it was in the wrong account.
But you still
And
spent
then
it.
I spent it, yes.
You still spent it.
Yep.
You. Okay, Vigo.
It's fine. I'm sure that
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
you're
that the
fine,
people
but-
that it went to had better use for it than I do anyway.
Well, it's still yours, and you should still respect things that are yours. I think it's
not
funny
mine.
how you.
It's not mine. It's theirs now.
Okay, yes. You're right.
And I have, and that's the other thing that I actually get really annoyed about is when you see people who are like donating to somebody and then they try and like put like
Chargeback.
restrictions.
Oh, yeah. Like only use it for this
you
or
said
that.
you were gonna do this thing with
Yeah.
this money. No, it's not your money. It's their money. Do what they can do what they want with it. The moment you click that button, it's gone. It's not yours anymore. You get no say over it.
But I do think there is some accountability. Like it's like I'm gonna donate it to charity, and then you find out that they did it. It's like,
Okay,
it's a-
but
that's
that's a different animal because that's a specific cause.
Yeah.
If you said, hey, my pet is sick and I need money for a vet, and then you just didn't take your pet to the vet, I would be actually very mad. Yes,
yeah.
but that's because that's a misrepresentation, right?
Mhm.
You misrepresented what you were going to do with that money.
Mhm.
If, however, you said, hey, my pet is sick and I need to take to a vet, oh, and then as soon as you got that money, you got in a car accident and you had to pay your own medical bills and you just didn't have the money for both, that's more understandable.
True.
If you
It's
just
just
don't do the
situational.
thing,
Yeah.
that's a different animal. But that's
Yeah.
because that's the representation you make. But I also try to be very honest. I think that your word should mean something.
For sure.
And if you give your word, you should do whatever you can to follow through with it, or not give your word. And that's okay. That's okay. If you don't want to enter into it, if you don't want to enter it, I feel like it's an agreement. That if you say, I will do X, Y, Z, then you have made a promise and you need to follow through with that. And but that's my own morality, right? That's my own worldview on that, is I think that you have made a promise, if to no one else, yourself. And if you're not going to keep promises to yourself, you're not going to keep them to anyone else.
There, yeah.
I mean, and yeah, you're right. I mean, and where did I see that? Oh, in chat. Yeah. Okay. So yes, subathon rewards are sort of purpose. They're sort of similar at purpose, right? You have made a promise. If you make X, Y, Z, if you do X, Y, Z, if you get this amount of income, and so there is a level of accountability there. But if you're just like, I guess my problem is I've never worried about it. Like, I know I've donated to people who are doing subathons and they promise XYZ rewards. I have never I don't think I've ever really held anyone's feet to the fire on that. Like, if stuff happens, it happens. And I have never, I guess my problem is I've never thought of, oh, look at this. It's
What
Raiders.
the heck?
Sage.
Welcome, Raiders! Oh, excuse me, Migo. Let me get this
no.
Christmas stuff off. Hi. Fuck. I'm floating. Welcome, Raiders! I hope you guys had a good time at Sage's stream. Oh, you were playing the long drive. That game is so crazy. It feels like an acid trip and a half. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you guys? Okay, yes, he got shouted. Thank you for reading me. I'm Rashmir. I'm the Comfy Comical Tab and Keep, and today you have walked in on episode 23 of my VTuber interview podcast, where we aim to get to know better the content creator outside of their content. And Migo was just telling us. Why do I always forget? I am so engaged, I promise. I'm just so dumb.
Sure. I
want to die.
No, what were we talking about? We were talking about, money. That's what we were talking about.
Money. Oh, money. Yeah, and your many bank accounts and your subathon spending.
Yes.
Yeah,
so spending.
Can you reiterate again how much, if you don't mind, you spent during your September, on others?
Well, okay. To be 100% fair, that money includes the normal reoccurring subs.
Okay, so yeah.
So it's not as bad as all that, and generally I do 6 months at a time, so that's like what, $30 a channel that I do a 6 month at a time too. So it's not as bad as that, but yes, I spend over $900 on September.
Yeah, and I was just asking him, are you okay? And he was like, he was alpha chatting on us saying, I have all these nice systems put in place to make sure I never am in danger. And it's like, fine, okay, cool, you're cool, and thank you for supporting so many people.
Idiot. Yeah, no, I have a lot of systems in place because I'm an idiot. That's why.
Me too. I need to get a note or two from your systems because I opened up 2 accounts and I realized that's not enough organization.
Yeah, there's a doctor who quote, and I don't know if they got it from somewhere else, but that good men don't need rules, because they just follow the rules, right? They just do the good thing. It's when you have to have rules, it's because you aren't doing the thing correctly.
It's true.
And I have so many rules.
I need to pick up some. Actually, I will ask what some of those rules are. I need to hold on. I want to address some of the raid. Thank you for your first time chat, King Cupcake. We had a lot of setbacks in that kind of game. Well, I guess there are. There's like, I suppose, that weird creepy guy.
Am I thinking the wrong game? Isn't The Long Drive that game that you're in that weird supernatural zone of like physics and you're repairing a car? Is that not the one I'm thinking of?
It is. And then there's like there's a part where you're going to a gas station and then there's this weird creepy guy who just follows you around like, come here, little guy. Like he's literally a creep.
I guess I've never seen that part. I've not played the game, so
yeah.
I've only caught a few creators here and there playing it.
Yeah, I watched this one dead guy. He's long dead, but he played it for a bit, and he had a great fall. But it's
wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm rolling in my. He's rolling in his grave.
That's cringe.
Okay, anyway. If you're coming in from a long stream, make sure you do your post-stream care, and I'm gonna get back to interviewing Migo with my dumb puns. And hope he doesn't make fun of me and call me cringe. Okay, thanks, bye. Love you guys. Okay, so...
I don't know where I got that, but I got the phrase, raid and fade, and I try to use that. I really like it.
Alright, thanks for the raid and fade.
So if you're coming in, you gotta like peace out.
Like fade out, right?
Raid and fade out. Yeah.
It's like that one kid with his peace sign and like. Whoosh.
Oh my.
Anyway.
Oh, thank you for telling me exactly how old you are.
So I have a question, but I forgot the question, and I have another question, but I wrote it down, so I'm gonna ask this one. You had asked a while back. You didn't ask. You had mentioned like. X's are X's for a reason. I'm curious, would you like to elaborate on that?
Well, what do you mean? I mean, I think I am of the opinion that if you cannot, I think it's it's exceedingly rare that you can be friends with an X. Because if you are emotionally entangled with a person to the point where you're like with them, and you're actually with them, especially if you're like with them in a serious fashion. It's very, very difficult for people generally, at least for me. I can't speak for everyone, obviously, to untangle yourself. And so I feel like if you're going to be an ex, you're going to be done. You're not gonna be a friend. You're not gonna hang around. We're not gonna chill out and watch movies together. No, we're done. And it's because we don't work together, right? And that's generally the reason why an ex is you don't work. Now, sometimes, unfortunately, more times than I care to admit, an ex is an ex because she's a cheating word I will not say on Twitch, and this just doesn't have any respect for you as a partner or a person, and then they're exes because they don't value people, you know, which is a different animal.
I suppose. So you don't believe in there's like the specific situation I've seen people in, right? Where like they're friends first and then they become a couple and then they like become exes and they go back to being like friends. Like, is that kind of situation like how does that play out?
That's more common than just being exes and then going to friends. Because you've already built that friendship. Now, I'm of the opinion that, and this sounds really dumb in my head, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Love isn't love. Love is a growing closer through shared experiences. And that sometimes is romantic love and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's platonic.
Yeah.
And so you have the filial, I think is the Greek version,
family.
Love. And you have which is more, well, there are like six Greek words for love, and we have one. So, and most people assume love is the Greek eros,
Yeah.
which I think that is a component of romantic love, but that is not that's not the end all be all. That's not what. Okay, and I'm spoiled here because my parents were together my entire life up until my father's passing. And it was not always easy, but they were in it for the long haul, and they knew they were in it for the long haul. And because of that, they worked, and they experienced many things together, and that brought them closer. And I think that you can have some of that with friends, but there are certain lines that once you cross, it's just hard to uncross. If that makes sense. Like
it's hard to go back from. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a in many ways.
Once you put the PP in, it's hard not to forget.
Look, all right, look, this sounds really sexist in my head. I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm a guy, who will go as far as you will let me, with my partner, right? And it's once you establish the boundaries, those are the boundaries, and yeah, they change as things do. But it's real easy in my brain, and by my brain I mean the one between my legs, to go back to the old boundaries once they've swapped away, and so I have to actively go back, and it's just safer for me as a person to just not associate.
Yeah. It's hard to dissociate those kinds of boundaries, I suppose. Once they've been crossed before, I guess it's hard to like re-implement.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
And so if you've built up a friendship beforehand, then you're probably more reliant on the boundaries that the friendship established. Because in all likelihood, you were, at least in the cases that I think it actually works, you were friends for a while, like a long time. So and then you were like a partner for a very short amount of time. So the boundaries that you are easy to fall back on are the ones that are long established as part of the friendship thing, not as the partnership thing.
It's kind of like it's like how in your head it's the mindset you had when they were a friend, and then the mindset you have when you're like you're their lover, and then after that, I suppose if you guys just started out as lovers and then leave, like there's nothing to fall back on. You don't know what it's like to be with just friends with them, I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But more than that, to put a real fine point on your question, exes are exes for a reason. When I say that, I really mean they have done something to earn their position as an ex to me specifically, and that usually means a betrayal of trust.
Yeah, and I'm
it's
sorry.
generally unforgivable, the unforgivable sin, in my opinion. So yeah.
Have you it's only been a one time, or
No.
multiple?
Yeah.
No. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Were they at least like a long time ago?
Define a long time ago.
Oh fuck no. Oh man.
No, I actually don't. I don't date anymore. I stopped looking a long time ago.
It's not,
Relatively speaking. It's just, and this sounds a little mopey, but it's just not worth the aggravation, and the effort for the payoff is just not there for me.
That's
it is
fine.
what it is.
Yeah, and I think too, like when you're not finding it, the opportunity, I think, actually arises even more for it to just randomly pop up out of nowhere one day. But if it doesn't happen, you're not looking for it anyway, so you're fine. Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear it's happened multiple times. Like I totally understand your perspective. So I'm curious though if you would like to elaborate, because if not, we are reaching 2 hours, and so that would probably be the last thing.
Well, I don't care. I mean, in generalities, the worst offender was an ex-fiance of mine.
Fiance. Oh.
Fiance. And I found out that she had been cheating on me the entire time we were together with 2 different guys. And the way I found out is she broke it off and then went to a courthouse marriage with one of them.
What?
Yeah.
Why? How did you find out? Like,
She posted the wedding announcement on Facebook.
But
that's how I found out.
But I suppose that part, yes. But the whole time, how did that knowledge like resurface?
Her, and yes, the other guys both knew. One of the guys she was cheating on me with was actually started after we were engaged. So, yeah. I found out because of a mutual friend of ours told me after the fact. Because they knew the situation, and I don't talk to that person anymore because I probably shouldn't, but like I was really pissed that they knew the entire time and didn't say anything to me.
I would be too. Like, where's the trust? Why didn't they tell you sooner? This happened over a long course of time. Who was there, and why wouldn't they? Like, your time was essentially, I don't want to say wasted, because I'm sure there's something you still gained from it, but love is an investment, and fiance, you were ready to commit, and so that means like there was a lot of people, or I don't know, how could this happen for such a long time?
Oh, it gets worse than that.
Yeah.
Because I spent 2 years paying off the deposits and arrangements for the wedding that never happened. After the fact.
Fuck, man.
And I could have technically like sued for like breach of promise and maybe recouped some of that, maybe.
Was the
but I
hassle
just
too
was.
much?
I just did. Honestly, I didn't want to see her face. I never wanted to see her face again.
Mm-hmm.
That's a large part of it.
Did like, and the second time, was it after or before this?
It was after.
What
And she was cheating on me with one of my ex-good friends. So yeah, I have a great track record. As I say, I've made lots of stupid decisions.
So besides like the offensive parts, was there anything similar between the two women?
Not really. I mean, kind of. There were some shared interests that they both shared with me because they shared them with me, right?
Right, yeah.
They were kind of on the, they were kind of on the nerdier side. And so we had some, I wouldn't say weeb-y shared interests, but nerdier shared interests.
All right, you guys hear it here first. Avoid weebs. Weebs are all cheaters.
Sure, let's go with that. I mean, at least it's not, at least it wasn't the shared interest of Riot Games, because that would be just a step too far, just way too far.
That means there's not hope much for me, Grimsley. That's so funny. Don't ever go to a convention again. It's truly
Rito,
tragic.
right?
I think it's doomed for all of us in that case. I'm sorry to say that, everyone. Rest in peace.
Isn't like League World coming up?
Worlds? Yeah. Oh, so you've been tuning into Clue as well.
I mean, I know. Yes, I do watch Clue. It's a Woody original.
Oh, it's on right now. Oh, it's this weekend. Okay.
I don't know when it is exactly. I just know that. Oh, is it now? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it either.
I don't follow. What happened to my model? It stopped
You might
working.
need to reconnect your tracking. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
The end of Swiss rounds. Okay.
Let me try this again. Oh, maybe? Oh, it's getting weird.
Sorry, it's my models changing and stuff.
Maybe. They actually say specifically in the VNet documentation that it's not recommended to change models.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
So,
well, I'll keep that in mind for next time.
maybe?
I definitely read that rule.
Hold on. I will. I think it's actually the app on my side crashed. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
I'll reconnect and then connect and then connect. Multiple connections. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
There we
Welcome back.
I just had to restart literally everything. It's fine.
I'm sorry. Thank you for going through that. But I think we're good to start wrapping up and stuff. Is there anything you'd like to promo before I suppose I kick you off?
I will be doing a game dev stream later today, as I normally do. That's part of my game dev challenge. That is a challenge where I have to stream the game development process at least once a week, or it gets deleted. And I mean everything gets deleted. The VODs, the code, the documentation, everything.
That's wild. Yes, please do. What time? What time do you start? Because it's usually very
It will
late.
be after the premiere, which is the premiere link I
Let's
just dropped.
go!
And I think that is in like 2 hours.
Okay, then we'll see you there.
Yeah, so like 2-ish hours I will be doing the game dev stream. And then, other than that, I don't have much other to say because I have a pretty set schedule where I do Tuesday, Thursday nights, Tuesday being Minecraft, Thursday being whatever, and then Saturday about the same time every week for
Let's
game
go.
dev. So, you know.
You are a grinder, that's for sure. Thank you. Thank you for your time today. I'm sorry, Ken. What? My small talks have consistently been 1 to 2 hours. You know that you're coming here at the end. In fact, this is one of my longer ones. So, alright, Migo, thank you so much for your time with me today. And I'm sorry for all the forgotten questions.
Oh, you're fine. I was at least as bad. So,
Ah, I gotta.
and by the way, I would like to, like I'm grateful that you even considered inviting me on. Honestly,
I have a list. You've been on this list for almost a year, dog. I'm just now going down. I have so many people.
Well, I am humbled that I am visible enough
I'm glad.
that I would be considered. So
Yes, sir. It's my honor. It's my honor to know someone so fucking talented and hardworking and been through so much. Like I don't know how to explain. Like those, they're just people you know who are weathered, and I can't help but like sense that from you. So I truly hope you get the peace you deserve, man. We love you. Yes, we love you. We love you, Migo.
well, it's not the years, it's the miles, as they say.
Okay. Well, you're definitely trooping a lot more than that one. I don't know. I've lost words. I have to go too. Okay. I'm just gonna say thank you again for your time, and I hope we can see you again soon for season 2 Small Talk. I'm prepping that. So, would you be
Okay.
interested? Would you be interested in?
Yeah, if you want to, I would, okay, so I am not much of a joiner, as you may have noticed. I don't jump in on collabs and stuff, but if people invite me, I'm usually perfectly willing to hop in. So if
Fuck
you would
yeah.
like to, go ahead.
Okay. Sounds good then. Alright, then I shall see you. Goodbye, Migo! Everyone say bye! Thank you for your time. I shall now close the VNet collab. Oh, it quit. Beep, 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 beep. Leaving the Discord call is so not very awkward, I swear. Do 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 do. Going back to my normal model so we can say goodbye. Hello, chat. I'm normal again, and it's time to say goodbye. Next small talk will be sometime next week. I'm gonna have another one, I think, or maybe sometime the week after that. Actually, wait. Next small talk will, so it can't be next week. Next weekend, the weekend to that. Okay, well, I will announce on my Discord when the next small talk is. If you guys would like, hold on. Here is my Discord. I am taking, I'm making a Google form for people to come on to Small Talk. That way I can maybe interview people who I have no affiliation with. And so if you guys think there might be someone who would be interested, please feel free to send them this. Google form. It's still being updated, but I think I have all the information I would need if someone was interested. Oops, that's not the right link. Return my tea. Go back. What are you doing? Shorten URL. Copy. There you go. In case there's anyone that knows someone who might be interested, then there is a link. I'll make an official Twitter post at a later time, and please look forward to that. Thank you again for all your time and listening. And that is now the conclusion of episode 23 of Small Talk. Let's go find someone to read. Ooh, let's go to a previous Small Talk guest. We got Dell playing Deep Rock Galactic, and that's actually a game that I have I'm going to have to play soon as a subathon reward goal. It landed on Chef Taku's recommendation. Did I miss the entire interview? Hi, Sachi! Yes, you did. But that's okay, because there's gonna be there's gonna be another one very soon. Here are your raid messages. Please use the right one. The first one is if you are a non-subscriber, and the second one is if you are. Dell is a he's a nut runner who does a lot of variety games, but he mainly plays racing games, just technically skilled games, I would say. Like games that you can grind on and get really good at. And he's so cool and he's so invested in streaming. I really like his vibes. I really endorse, or I really hope you guys will enjoy his vibes with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, will I? Hold on. I need to check about the availability of the kitchen tomorrow. The stream tomorrow is supposedly the IRL cooking stream, but I haven't chosen a recipe nor asked about the availability because this weekend has been busy for the household. So that's why I have posted on the schedule as well as my Discord announcement that tomorrow's stream is tentative. So it's still tentative. I'm sorry. I can't. I have been a little behind on my duties, but I will let you guys know by tonight whether or not we will stream the IRL cooking stream tomorrow and what recipe we will cook. Okay, cool. I think I said all I needed to say. Alright, I'm sorry, good. No, I'm not sorry. We're gonna go raid Dell now. Take care, everyone. Bye. Bye. See you.